Not only do we have more information on the DLCs for Bleach Rebirth of Souls, but we know all 4 characters now, from some pretty respectable sources too. And 2 of them really surprised me, to be honest. And there's more details explaining it, and I'm gonna break it all down in this video. I'm your boy Kaizen. Hit that like button and subscribe for more Bleach Rebirth of Souls content. I'm covering the game on my channel. I've got plenty of more videos coming out. Help me get to 2,000 subs as soon as possible. I'm a small YouTuber now, but hopefully soon I won't be, and you can say you're an early subscriber. So with that said, I'm your boy Kaizen, and let's get straight into it. So firstly, this leak comes from a Twitter user who's quite respectable in the community, because I'm pretty sure I did videos on his leaks on Sparking Zero, and I'm pretty sure he was correct about his leaks for Naruto Storm Connections. Correct me if I'm wrong if you guys recognize the name, but I'm pretty sure I did a video on him myself. And basically he's been data mining the Bleach Rebirth of Souls files, and straight off the bat he found 3 out of the 4 DLC characters. Now I'll just quickly go over the first 2 because, you know, we all expected this. So we got Ichigo with his true Zanbakuto, and I'm pretty sure that's the one from the second core, and I can already imagine his Kikon moves and all that, and his different outfit. It's going to be Getsuga Jujisho, I believe that's how it's pronounced, and I'm very excited for that as well. I'm assuming he's going to have the scarf equipable, so that's going to be pretty cool. He's going to be aura farming as usual. And the second character, to nobody's surprise at all, is Yuha himself. And obviously this is going to be the first version of Yuha that comes up in the show, not the what's called Almighty or whatever. It won't be him, but still very strong and a very cool character. I can already imagine they're going to go crazy with that trailer. He's definitely going to be aura farming, you know, a very cold character, a true villain. And we do have the pictures to go with these 2 characters. Obviously with Ichigo you can see the version of him with that, was it a shoulder blade thing? Something like that. I do hope the scarf version is there as well. I think it was a green scarf. I do like that design for Ichigo. And with Yuha, it's clearly his regular form. You know, he's just normal. He doesn't have the special eyes or whatever. Or maybe with an ability he does, but I'm saying his standard design is just him, you know, the mustache guy. And that's fine because don't forget, he fights quite a bit in the show too. I mean, he literally fights Ichigo in Core 1 and fights Yamamoto. Well, he kind of fought Yamamoto, you know what I mean, if you watch Bleach tybw. Now, it's safe to assume that the Almighty Yuha or whatever won't be a DLC character, or at least won't be in this season pass. It won't be included in this. I assume he'd be in the sequel, to be honest. Assuming this gets a sequel, which it probably will, that's how these things go. And I'm excited for a sequel because I feel like that would be perfect. But anyway, let's not get ahead of ourselves. It doesn't say anything about costumes, it just shows the character files, and if you notice it says character mono, and the Twitter user Sergio, he pointed out he believes all 4 of these, in fact even the other 2, are grayed out, because I think once all 4 of them are added to the game, they're going to be grayed out unless you buy them, of course. You know, a lot of other games do that as well, like Dragon Ball Fighters for example. Like they'll be in the roster screen, but unless you buy the DLC, they'll be grayed out. Pretty standard. Now this third character did surprise me the most, more than the 4th character. The 4th one I'll get to in a second. That one is like less confirmed, but I'll explain that in a second. So this third character surprised me the most, and that's Ichibe. Now don't get me wrong, I really like Ichibe, but I did not expect him to be a DLC. Now I did say this in a previous video. I said maybe they won't be following the order of tybw for this DLC because, you know, it's not like a full expansion or anything. They'll probably save the actual arc for a sequel, but I thought maybe they'll follow the order, like just do Core 1 and maybe Core 2 characters for the season pass. But they went straight to Core I mean, he is in Core 1, but he doesn't fight till Core... Wait, did he fight in Core 2? Am I tripping? Wait, no, I am tripping. He fights at the end of Core 2, doesn't he? Well, anyways, he comes a bit later, and I can just imagine how insane his moveset's gonna be, you know, with the paintbrush. And I know people pointing out, like, how would his abilities work? Like, would you erase their name and, like, lower your opponent's abilities? I don't know how that's gonna work, but based on how these characters are so far, like with how unique and nuanced the mechanics are, and different abilities across various characters, I could see them getting creative with it, and I'm excited for that. Now lastly, the 4th character, and there's a reason why this character was more separate. It's because based on what he said, he didn't find as solid evidence as the others, I think is what he said, but it's Unohana, and that's one of my predictions for the DLC, like before we even got this leak. And you can already imagine how her character is going to play out, you know, with the Bankai from her fight with Kenpachi. That one fight, you know, it just tells you everything you need to know about how she's going to play as a character. I can already imagine her intro as well. Like if you can see in the picture that was found of her, it's when she does that like scary look. But yeah, what he found was that another grayed out image of her, just like the other 3. And I believe he said he had more evidence in the data as well that suggests that she's the 4th character. And people pointed out that, obviously the picture's right there, so doesn't that mean that she's the 4th character? And he replied, like, I think he acknowledged that it does indicate she's probably a character, but he also said, the image is isolated, doesn't mean much to be honest. However, as I said, I found more evidence that points towards her being the 4th DLC indeed. So he's saying he has even more evidence that he hasn't posted based on his data mining to indicate that she is the 4th DLC. This image doesn't tell the whole story, but it does contribute is what he's saying. And he seems pretty reliable, and I mean he found the other 3, so I feel like it's safe to assume she's going to be the 4th character. It's just not as guaranteed as the other 3, and I'm really excited for that. But the question I had to this news was, look, the 4 characters are going to be great and very unique, especially Ichibe and Unohana, but my question is it, and don't get me wrong, my expectations are realistic, but is it 100% confirmed that the season pass is only going to be characters? And by that I mean 2 things. Is there going to be costumes? Because we do know that there's already separate costume packs, the Rebirth of Souls costume pack and tybw costume pack, a separate tybw DLC of course, for Neliel, Byakuya, Renkiku and Mayuri and Grimjaw of course. But of course this season pass costs like twice as much I believe. For me in the UK it's £20. Do you think it will include costumes? I kind of hope so, although I guess if they were to do costumes it would almost have to be the characters in the DLC, in the season pass I mean. And what costumes would they even have? I guess for Ichigo he could have the scarf option, and for Yuha, does he even have any other outfits, like maybe without the cape? I don't think so. If I'll probably like check right now and put a screenshot on screen. If not, then it means no. And for Unohana, I'm pretty sure she has a captain robe on at all times, at least in the anime, in the tybw anime I mean. I have seen images of her in just a black robe, but I'm not sure if those were actually in the tybw anime or not. I mean, if they add it anyways, that would be very cool of course. And for Ichibe, I'm pretty sure he's always in the white robe and the red beads at all times, so safe to assume those won't be costumes. I do hope we just get the Ichigo costume, if anything, because he was aura farming. If you remember when he jumped down back into Soul Society with that scarf on, it was just really cool. Man, I can't wait for Core 4. But anyways, the other question I had about this season pass is, do you think, and my expectations are especially low for this one, especially after Sparking Zero, but do you think it will include maps? Now, I do want to say there's already, I believe, 32 maps in this game, which is very impressive, and they look gorgeous to me personally. Especially when you consider this game runs on PS4, like, those maps are just gorgeous. I love the art direction for this game. I do hope they add some resolution patches, but obviously I know about the flaws in this game's release. I'm just not talking about it in this video. They'll probably be the next video I think. But yeah, hopefully they do have maps, but I don't expect it. It will just be very much appreciated, especially considering it's tybw DLC. It makes perfect sense for maps. The kind of maps I think we could get would be like where Unohana and Kenpachi fought. Also, I think it was like the destroyed Soul Society where Ichigo and Yuha fought, when the Quincy's attacked and all that. Maybe that could be a thing. And where is it that Squad Zero guys are with Ichibe? I think it's called the Soul Palace or something. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's the Soul Palace with the pillars and all that stuff. Soul King Palace, sorry, I just checked now. So yeah, that would be an amazing map. I'm looking at it right now on my phone and oh my goodness, that is literally a game map right there. Like, light in the sky, the pillars, the blue sky. That's gotta be a map. Whether in this game, in this DLC or sequel, eventually we gotta have that playable. And yeah, that would be not my hopes for maps, but ideally, like, that would be amazing to have at some point. If not, who knows, let's see what happens. The game's still like 2 days old. But do let me know what you expect from this DLC. If nothing else, just the characters alone. Are you happy with these 4 choices? Let's be honest, Ichigo and Yuha were expected, and happily so. Like, we want those 2 characters. Particularly, I want to know what you think about Unohana and Ichibe. I think Ichibe is the one that caught everyone off guard. It definitely caught me off guard, so let me know what you think. Are you happy with it? Are you dissatisfied? Let me know. Let me know who you would rather see. And do you think we'll get a Fullbringer DLC? I don't know. I think they'll save that for a sequel. And other than the bugs and glitches, which I'm going to address in my next video I think, let me know what you think of the game itself at its core. Like, do you like the mechanics and whatnot? Of course it needs some fixing, but I think at its core this game is a love letter to Bleach fans. I love how unique the characters are. It really stands out from other anime games, especially 3D ones, especially after some of the awful games we've had, And I really look forward to the updates, because if you see what's going on Twitter, they are clearly listening to people. Like, I think the brand manager himself and some other people are relaying the message to the devs, and they're planning some big updates. I'm pretty sure they posted they're already working on the Steam fix, so keep an eye out for all that. But yeah, so far I'm enjoying the game. And I think since you're watching this far, you've enjoyed this video, so why wouldn't you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, because you're clearly into Bleach Rebirth of Souls or anime content in general. So why the hell wouldn't you subscribe? I'm going to be on your YouTube homepage anyway, so you might as well help me get to 2,000 subs as soon as possible. Hit that button down below and the like button, it helps push out the video immensely. Who knows, maybe I'll be a big YouTuber one day and you can say you're an OG. But with that said, do follow my Twitter in the description below. Check out my Bleach video on screen now, I think you'll like it. I've been your boy Kaizen, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.